This is the XRP 1 month overview reading for the month of May 2024. It's currently April 14, 2024, 9:58 p.m. Eastern Time. XRP at the time of this reading is currently 0.5015 or just over 50 cents USD. The shuffle video for the May XRP reading was created on March 9th, 2024 at 6:58 p.m. Eastern Time. That's the video playing in the lower left corner. The overall theme of behavior for XRP in May is the majority of it looks like overall pretty mixed, but the majority of the behavior I think it will end to the upside. It's mostly rallying here. We have a rally along a diagonal trend line where we break through horizontal resistance on a multi-day scale, meet another resistance on a multi-day scale, and then pull back to somewhere between those two. That'll probably take place near the high. There is a pop and drop in the high correlation position, so right near the high, we should when we go into that second resistance before pulling back, it should be like a pop and then a drop out of the resistance. Now the theme card is crossed with the love card, which they're both. The Queen of Wands is a prominent card on the 1 year. The love card is a prominent card on the 1 year. So we're kind of like in between April. We're right in between April and June as far as the sequence of events, right? The love card, the Queen of Wands, behavior around the and so with the love card, what we have is a move higher through key resistance on a multi-day scale. We'll stay above it briefly before breaking back down through it with a full retracement, and it makes like a capital A in the English language type of pattern, where the price level is the horizontal line through the upside down V. And then behavior around the lowest low, we have a sideways fluctuating rally. Now this is a little tricky when you get this card in a low significant position. It could be that out of the low we have a sideways fluctuating rally that precedes a decline, like a sharp decline on a multi-day scale, or it could be that we have a sideways fluctuating rally that precedes a sharp decline into the low. I think it's probably the latter of those two. Now we're gonna get into the timing of the highest highs and the lowest lows, as well as the day-by-day chart behavior. All of that in just a moment, but I want to make sure first that everybody's aware. The whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. We do that by following the rule of karma for the channel. You go to the resources tab of our website, Terra for Traders, and 5% of the profits from every profitable trade utilizing this information should be donated forward to one of these charities, or pick a charity of your choosing, as long as you're paying 5% forward, and then 5% should be sent back to the channel through one of these links. If you're international, you can use Wise, or you can use YouTube tips, and that leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend that 90% out of love. As long as you follow those rules, you follow the rule of karma for the channel, the universe considers you an angel investor. It's going to send it back to you tenfold for following through. Blessings to all my angel investors. Let's get back into it. Okay, so on the first, we have an important range that's highlighted on a multi-day scale. There's a peak towards the later part of the morning, maybe a little bit before noontime on the first, and it's very toppy here. We've got a lot of indications of a high here, but there's a sharp drop from the first into the second. I think we probably see a lot of decline from this high on the first down to like a notable decline somewhere into the second. I got three local troughs on a 1-day chart and one local high, one local crest on a 1-day chart here on the second. So probably overall to the downside, especially with the sharp drop there. And there's a day trade opportunity in there. That's also another indication of a significant amount of price change. But it's the Ace of Swords, so chances are we probably return back to that either on the third or on the fourth. We have out of a decline, this big move from the bottom of the range all the way to the top of the range. We return that price level there. The science card is probably an important price level on a 1-year chart scale that we decline from into the second and then return back to on the third or the fourth, probably on the third. And then we have another decline into midday on the fourth, where there's a prominent trough and a big move from the bottom of the range to the top of the range. That card is a cross-reading congruency with the sneak preview card from the April cluster, giving it extra importance. And there's a trough there after this move from the bottom of the range all the way to the top of the range. It takes place out of like a trough on the fourth into a peak on the fifth. We have from a near overbought crest a decline to multiple support levels on the sixth into a low on the seventh in the morning. That'll be a lowest low. That's probably our lowest low for the month. It might be as low as like what we fell into on the second. Hard to say, but this is most likely our lowest low for the month. And out of this low, there's a huge move to the upside, pushing the upper end of a multi-day scale higher there on the seventh. A lot of volatility and price swinging and wild behavior on the eighth. A lot of price change, and then that wild behavior continues. There's a trough towards the end of the day on the eighth, which is a cash out opportunity. I'll talk about in more detail on the paid version. On the ninth, we have that wild behavior continuing, turning into erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level. In the midst of that erratic behavior, we do revisit this crest that was recently a past opportunity. There's also a possibility that we revisit lowest lows there. It is a possibility. On the 10th, we have 3 pokes through the same trend line, followed by a sharp decline through off of that third poke, and then there's another lowest low. So this is pretty wild here. We have, it's hard to read too. So we might have a high here. There's abundance card. So probably after creating lowest lows, I see. Okay, so we decline from the 10th into a lowest low again on the 11th. The 5th, 6th, 7th as one low, and then the 11th, the 9th, 10th, 11th as another low. Those are the strongest locations of the lowest lows for the month of May. But on the 11th, so out of the 10th, we decline into the 11th, and then there's this huge move out of the lowest low. Huge move taking us to a prominent high, like some sort of new high after forming lows that'll really stand out there. We break through resistance. We stay above it briefly on the 12th, and then we break back down through it, breaking through key resistance and declining into the 13th. On the 13th, out of scary chart behavior or some sort of maybe seeing the overwhelming headwind, some sort of indication that we're going lower, but everybody's expecting us to go lower. We go higher anyways on the 13th, and we come to a high side thus far on the 14th. Looks like actually the trough, the decline from the 12th continues through the 13th into the cusp of the 13th, 14th, where there's a huge move to the upside, taking us to a high side. We decline from that high side down to and through support to meet another support on a multi-day scale, rotate sideways there for a bit before rallying on the 15th, and that rally on the 15th offers trade opportunity. I'll talk about in more detail in the paid version as well. There's a prominent trough on the 15th as well. And before we go any further, let's take a look and see how we're doing for April. All right, so we have a high high on the first, a high high on the third, fourth, and then a high high on the 7th. So we have a high high, and then it looks like we missed the 7th. We were a little early on the 7th. It was a couple days later, but then we have this pretty sharp decline off of that high, which you can see the sequence of events is still pretty solid through multiple support levels, increasing with momentum on the way down. 13th right there, that might have been like that was probably that was the first lowest low. I see it there because of this indication here, but do we go lower than that is interesting. I think we probably do here on the 21st, 22nd, but this is pretty solid, guys. And as far as trades are concerned, all right, so if you got into a short position on the 7th at that peak and you held that short position until like the 13th, you would have made a solid amount of money. To trade opportunity there at a trough. There's opportunity here. The 5th as well would have been a place where you might have opened up a partial short position, so it would have been a little early. You would have added it to it, but then it would have paid off nicely. And all of these type of trades, that's all found in the paid version of every monthly, every paid version of every yearly that we talk about the best trades that we see, the overall timing for those trades, and then what to look for as far as chart behavior into and out of those trades. That way, if the timing is off just a little bit, you're still able to execute mostly on those trades based on what you're looking for as far as pattern chart behavior. So all of that in the paid version. Only place you can get this stuff super undervalued, guys, and it's a great way to support the channel. So the way that you do that is you go here, you hover over our services, click on SO Meta Post, scroll down to monthly subscription, click here to order, and you can subscribe to any one of these crypto or ticker symbols on a monthly basis, or you can subscribe to all of them. This is the most popular subscription on the channel. Gets you the paid version of one-offs, like when people order customs, right, or I feature a specific ticker that's not on this regular list. The paid version would also be included in this 30 days access to all paid monthlies. Really great way to support the channel. We know the names of everybody that does that because they're really huge supporters. So thank you to everybody doing that. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to put out all this content. So you're a huge part of what goes on here. Let's get back into it. All right, so this is pretty tricky over here. We have this rally on Princess of Wands energy on the 15th, and then Princess of Discs energy on the 16th. So there's a significant cash out opportunity. We're gonna get into the paid version, the full card as well, and then the Ace of Discs. I mean, there's probably a ton of money that can be made right here between the 15th and the 18th. We're gonna get into that as we progress in the paid version. So we probably decline at some point between the 15th into the 16th. There's an important support level highlighted there on a multi-day scale, and probably a lot of price change, especially with the full card after that. The full card, this will really stand out. 17th as an auspicious opportunity, something that, among other opportunities throughout the month of May, really will stand out. Looks like it's probably a sharp decline there, and then we have the Ace of Discs, which from a support level is probably the same support level as the 16th. Not definite, but probably the same support level as the 16th. That we decline to that, and then there's a huge move out of the 18th into the 19th, breaking out on the 20th. So like a huge 3-day move really. And then we have on the 21st a decline through support to meet another support, and then we rotate sideways along that support for a bit before breaking down through multiple supports into a trough on the 22nd, out of which we rally pretty notably, trade opportunity there, and then a sharp decline right on the cusp of the 22nd, 23rd. We do some sideways rotation on the 23rd, establishing support. There's a big move out of that established support, and then a sideways rotation at a higher price level, rallying a little bit into the 24th, but that rally is halted by a decline through key support on a multi-day scale there on the 24th, and then that turns into volatility on the 25th. That ends with a fast move higher, taking us into a peak on the cusp of the 25th, 26th, and then a decline from that peak to a lowest low on the 26th, followed by a rally back along a diagonal trend line into the 27th. That rally ends with a fast move higher. Matter of fact, that's not a lowest low there on the 26th. That's not a lowest low. That's going to be a deep low that'll stand out, but I don't believe that to be a lowest low there. In any case, the 27th is most likely our highest high for the month. It's possible that the 30th is higher, but I think that the 27th is most likely our highest high. And unfortunately, we have this rally out of the trough on the 26th, rally along a diagonal trend line, ends with a fast move higher, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down into a prominent trough on a 1-month scale, out of which we rally again, increasing with momentum moving forward into the 29th, where we have a period of sideways rotation and a sharp drop that'll stand out in that period of sideways rotation. That sharp drop's probably a fake out. We have, and why I say it might be another high here is because this is a little interesting. There's some sort of rally into a peak here on the 30th, but we decline really hard off of that peak through multiple support levels, and then more bullish behavior on the 31st, crisscrossing back and forth through the same price level 3 times. The third time to the upside, confirming a bullish trend. The sneak preview for June, we have a period of sideways rotation along a key support level on a probably on a 1-year chart scale there, and there's also a unicursal coming up there on a 1-year chart scale, guys. So you want to be very, very careful. It might actually be this. It could be this right here. It's possible, right? Because we've got the Queen of Discs. Yeah, this is probably a really sharp drop in here, and probably a price swing with a really sharp drop. There is some possibility there's a highest high here, but it's more likely to just be a really big move. And that's XRP for May 2024. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. It really helps out the channel when you do that. And then most importantly, my friends, make sure to follow that rule of karma. Don't be one of those people that's like, yeah, dude, I really lost money. You should take some responsibility. And I'm like, how many times did you follow the rule of karma? And they're like, honestly, man, I didn't follow it at all. Well, there you go, my friends. I keep telling you, that first trade, you make money, make sure to follow the rule of karma, or you're gonna screw yourself over. Just don't do it. Follow the rule of karma. It's really not that difficult. It's really not that much. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay tuned if you got the paid version. We're gonna get into the best trades momentarily.